What's up, guys? I'm Alex.
I'm Jason. We're the Table Monkeys, and we are finally back with another video. First and foremost, we'd like to, sort of apologize for our absence over the past, I don't even know now, it's been more than a month. It's been a number of weeks for sure. We've both been super busy with work, and when we started this channel, it was during pandemic, and neither of us had jobs, so it was obviously
it's a perfect opportunity to start a YouTube channel. Have lots of time on our hands, but now we have a lot less time, so it's been tough to get videos out. We've prioritized obviously our jobs and then also our own training, so we haven't sacrificed that. But we have obviously sacrificed making videos, so we apologize for that. We do want to continue.
And I think we've come up with a plan to come up with at least 2 videos a week for the foreseeable future. We're going to keep them either like technique or analysis based, because we feel like those were the videos that you guys like the most and that we sort of did the best of the videos that we did. If there are other kinds of videos you'd like to see, message us, leave comment, all that kind of stuff, and we'll try to see how we can accommodate. But for right now, figure out a way to kind of get these 2 videos out moving forward. So hopefully that works. And
so today we kind of wanted to analyze King of the Table a little bit. Obviously, it was an absolutely amazing event, one of the best events we've ever seen. King of the Table just seems to get better and better each time.
And that's kind of the crazy thing that's happening right now with arm wrestling, is that as it's growing, it's the platforms that are growing as well. And I think, you take any dedicated athlete and you put them on a giant platform, and they're gonna, go to the point where they leave on a stretcher from an arm wrestling match like Vitaly did.
Doesn't happen often, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or you have somebody pulling 2 matches like KOTT did. It leads people to want to push things to the absolute brink, because the platform's so big and the reward seems so big, not just financially but emotionally for yourself. Like you get such a emotional charge out of being on that kind of stage.
Absolutely amazing matches. If you haven't seen them already, definitely go buy the pay-per-view. Well worth it. But also Dave Chafin, Vitaly, absolutely amazing. Morozov and Dadikan, amazing again. Even Schoolboy and Khaled.
Yeah, Schoolboy Khaled was a crazy match, even though it wasn't as.
I don't think anyone was expecting that.
Every match was a war, but just the unexpectedness of that match was just like what was, and it was the first one, right? So it was just like, holy cow, what's going on right now?
Even seeing Ryan beat Khaled at the end was impressive, but obviously it doesn't mean much. It was more like a fun match to watch. Right?
What was even impressive was that I know he beat him 6-0, but he still had some issues. He still struggled, he still lost his hand and stuff like that. So it just proved like what an absolute freak Khaled is, and sets up more drama for the sport. Like they're probably gonna pull Fresh for Fresh at some point, which I think both of us would agree. I don't think Ryan has any chance, but it's because Khaled's he's just way too strong, and he clearly would not want to lose that match. So I just, even if he says he doesn't train, I'm sure he's gonna get a little advice, do a little bit of work to make sure that he's able to deal with whatever Ryan would bring him. But the point is that Khaled just showed that he's on a crazy level as far as just freak genetics and absolute
tenacity to win, right?
It's just that fighter. That fighter. That's why he's an MMA fighter. Like his desire to fight is really strong, which is a huge part of what you need for this sport. So.
But the match we really want to talk about was the Lachlan and Irakli, which kind of the match that everyone forgets about because it was the most one-sided match, obviously, in that day, 6-0.
And went the way everybody kind of saw it going.
Yes, exactly. We all knew Lachlan was the underdog. Irakli's obviously a world champion, super amazing top roller. And Lachlan struggles with really good top rollers because he just wants to go inside and hook the hook. And Irakli's just amazing at taking the hand. So it was a 5-0 victory, the way we expected it to go. And we kind of wanted to talk about in this video why we don't think Lachlan should be taking these matches specifically with such high-level opponents, where like his last 3 matches he's lost 5-0, 6-0, 6-0, and he could probably say, like he probably is saying that he learned something from these losses. Maybe he did learn a little something, but how much are you going to learn from getting spanked 5-0, 6-0 3 times in a row? It's not good mentally for you, and it's very difficult for you to see how much did he actually learn from that match when he was never really in the match to begin with. He was never at a point where he could actually fight with Irakli. It was just he was never able to engage any of his power.
Yeah.
So apart from I need to get stronger,
Exactly.
what else did he learn?
That's the thing, is when a match is, like when you lose a match 6-0, you do learn something, obviously, as Alex said, but really the only thing you're learning is I have to get stronger, and you might get an idea of where that is. Oh, I need more pronation, I need more flexion, I need more elbow integrity, whatever, but you're not going to get much more information than that. Where if it's a close match, like for Artem and or even for Dave, the last couple matches, that's a great example. I'm sure that after his last loss, he went home and worked conditioning like crazy to make sure that he could make it 6-7 rounds, which ended up paying off for him in the end, right? It wasn't just that he made adjustments, it's that he was able to stay at that level for that amount of time, which if you're just getting smashed, you don't realize, like you're not going to realize, oh, I need to work on my endurance, or it was my, you know, little finite moves or techniques that I had to,
transitioning from move to move, right? Lachlan didn't get any of that from his past 3 matches.
Yeah.
And he's obviously a great arm wrestler. He's the best in Australia, as little as that might mean for some people. But his issue is, right, he's the strongest guy in Australia. He doesn't really have to arm wrestle that technically well against opponents in Australia because he's just so strong.
Yeah.
So when he goes against opponents like Irakli, Sandris, Podzilla, where
the strength is
somewhat
close,
similar,
it's close enough that it becomes about technical prowess, and then like you're saying, just because he doesn't ever really need to work on those things, it seems that that's where he gets challenged.
Right, and obviously him being close to Ryan's hyping him up a ton, trying to get him these really big matches. Where we think that Lachlan's not ready for these matches. He's obviously a super great arm wrestler, and he's elite.
Super strong arm wrestler.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And he should be facing some good guys, but he shouldn't be going after these world champions.
Yeah.
Right. So there's definitely some matches for him, and a more slow and steady way to climb the ladder as opposed to just reaching for the top right off the bat.
Yeah, and you see this a lot with a lot of other sports too, where somebody gets a lot of hype, maybe in college, or they, viral video on the internet or something like that, and then they get kind of thrown into the, thrown in with the wolves too quickly. Another great example that happened in arm wrestling not too long ago would be Scott Mendelson, right? World record bench presser, absolute beast of strength, and obviously just pulling with average people. It didn't matter how good an average person could arm wrestle, he could just smash them. So he ends up, within a few months of starting arm wrestling, he's pulling guys like Michael Todd and Travis Bajan and just getting crushed. And even though he still arm wrestles, he definitely, his interest for the sport or his idea that he could be at an elite level kind of faded away real quick, which maybe he could if he actually took 5 years to get there. Because again, being strong at the table is one thing, but learning and understanding how to access all your strength is a totally different thing, which is why someone who is a lot smaller can overpower someone who's a lot bigger, is because they just know how to access all their strength and take all their opponent's strength away, right? So
and I think it's clear that Lachlan definitely has the desire to be a world level arm wrestler.
And the strength.
Yeah. His interest is not fading at all.
Yep.
So we don't have to worry about that. But if we keep feeding him these ridiculous matches, maybe that would change.
And not whether it's his interest that fades or not, the interest in seeing him pull is going to start to fade because he just becomes a punching bag. As a way to sort of solve this problem, we think we've got a great match here in Ontario for him.
Yeah.
We already, a while ago, we thought we were going to get to see Ryan and BLM pull. So that's another great match here in Ontario for, Ontario versus Australia.
Yeah.
But we really think that Lucky would match up perfectly with Ontario's Porkchop. Yeah, Curtis Cameron. It's stylistically, they match up perfectly. I think size-wise, they're very similar. Strength-wise, they're going to be pretty similar. It would just be...
They're both national champions.
Exactly, yeah.
Perfect matchup.
Yeah, and Curtis hasn't gone for, he's pulled Todd twice now, but both times knew that they were, outside of, that he was definitely reaching hard for that match, and it wasn't a bad match for him stylistically, it was a great match for him stylistically, and based on how he did with Todd the last time they pulled, how Lachlan did with Todd the last time they pulled, how long it's been since Lachlan pulled Todd, all the timing, and if you look at it, it sort of leads you to believe that Lucky and Porkchop are pretty even, very close, would be a great match.
Yeah.
Obviously BLM and Ryan, we all want to see that match.
Yeah, that was the match that was supposed to happen a long time ago. It didn't happen, so we definitely would like to see what the level is like that,
and where they match up. Obviously, with arm wrestling math, if you look at the Chance Shaw matches between Ryan and Chance, and then between Chance and BLM, it looks like Ryan would smash BLM, but those are
different chances.
It's totally different chances and a totally different BLM. They're like the BLM that showed up against Chance, not making any excuses for him, but it was not the same BLM that showed up against Artem a few months later. So if you get BLM at his best and Ryan at his best, I think you got a really, really interesting match there. And obviously we said, you know, Curtis and Lachlan would be a great match.
Yep.
And maybe there's some more matches between Australia and Ontario that could work out, that we could try to make this happen. So throwing the open invitation out to you, Ryan. Let's try to work something out. Maybe 2023, the Aussies can come to Ontario and not only hang out with us, I'm sure try to make it so you can hang out with Devin as well, which is always a good incentive for people to come to Ontario. But most of all, let's try to set up those matches because everybody would want to see them. We would definitely want to help to facilitate that to happen. So you guys make sure that Ryan sees this. Ryan, if you do see this, let's get in touch and try to make it happen, because seeing those two beasts pull would be amazing. Seeing you pull BLM, amazing.
Yep.
And
I think it'd be good for Lachlan as well as in his career too. So
yeah,
just the perfect blend of everything. Right?
And Porkchop's got a match with Zurab coming up. So let's say Porkchop wins that match against Zurab. Now it makes it even more of an incentive for Lachlan to want to pull him, because it kind of establishes that Lachlan is at that level.
Yep.
He is ready for that world stage, which we think he is. We're not saying that he isn't. But again, the levels in arm wrestling are really interesting, and once you add styles into it, really big gaps can come out of actual, like, not very big differences.
Yep, that's a good point.
So yeah, that's the video. As we said, we're sorry we haven't been able to come out with as many as we have in the past, but we've got a plan to come out with some more. There should be another video coming out this week going over some technical things that we want to kind of do a new series, revamping some of the old stuff we've done and revisiting it now that we've been in the sport for 3 years and we've grown as much as we have. So,
if you like this video, please like the video, leave some feedback in the comments, share, subscribe,
all of those things, and
peace out.